What's going on, people? It's your boy John, coming back to you again with another video. How's it going? It's been a few days since I've actually been able to collect some time and most importantly energy to make a video. Because that's the thing about these videos, right? That's the thing about anything in life, is that it takes energy, and that's the most valuable resource you've got. So dedicating a bit of energy to this has been a bit of a goal of mine for the last few days. I haven't been able to find the time or again the energy to sit down or even walk in the forest because I've been real busy with life, just life in general, man. It's catching up on me real quick. But anyway, these videos are still going to continue because they're not even just for you. You know, in all selfishness, they're not just for you, they're actually a form of therapy for me. So I can sit down, I can talk about what I want to talk about, just let my thoughts loose, share my ideas or whatever, however useless they may be or however useful they may be. I'm sure many of you find them to be both. I just like sharing them, so that's what I'm doing right now. What can I talk about today? I haven't actually got anything on my mind, but I'll remember a few days ago I sat down and I was like, I'm going to make a video regarding certain topics. So I'm going to have a topic in mind and I'm going to start the video with that topic. It just allows the thoughts and the ideas to be more narrowed in, with a little bit more focus perhaps, and a little bit of a practical element to be applied to anyone who wants to use it, right? Because it's all good talking about ideas, but if you can't apply any of them, what's the point? It's like having a stack of books, which I've got right now. I've got a stack. I've got the books all lined up as they should be, but I've also got a stack of a to-read list. And the list just keeps getting bigger. it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So, there's no point having all these books and all these ideas if you're not going to share them or even apply them in your real life. Applicability is always the end result with everything. I don't like discussing ideas for the sake of discussing ideas. I like them to be applied to some degree or to help me apply something that I'm trying to do. So if I'm trying to understand human beings, for example, which is what I do for a living, I'm going to buy books based on human nature and figuring it out. So I've got books on everything to do with human nature in all of its aspects, legal, political, down to philosophical, down to psychology, of course, all of these different topics that relate to human nature and figuring human beings out. I've got books on everything you can imagine. And as for someone who is interested in finding out about humans and applying it to the business world, you've got sales books. I've got Jordan Belfort's Way of the Wolf. It's a fantastic book, by the way, if you want to get into sales. I've also got Dale Carnegie. I've got a few of his books. Rich Dad Poor Dad, which isn't really psychological, it's more like financial, but it does talk a bit about psychology in there as well, to be fair. And then a lot of history books. History is the best teacher, in my opinion. I was reading a quote by Kierkegaard earlier today, and he said something along the lines of, it's sad to read history and to see what life's all about. It's like he gave a good metaphor or an allegory. How do you say that word? He gave a good metaphor, simile, or whatever to illustrate the point. But anyway, forget about Kierkegaard. Let me talk about materialism. Because this is one of the topics that I wanted to talk about, or at least expand on, a few days ago, but now I'm sitting down, I've got nothing to talk about other than nothing, but materialism was the topic anyway, so let me try and figure something out about it. Materialism is really funny. I'm going to talk about materialism not from an academic standpoint or a political standpoint or even a philosophical standpoint, in the sense of me using other people's ideas, because I'm sure that there's many people out there who have written about materialism in some form or another. The Stoics, which I consider myself to be a follower of, have written tons about materialism, and their entire ideology is based on criticizing and moving away from materialism, because materialism doesn't give you ultimate happiness. Now, if that's your goal in life, to find out ultimate happiness, to find it, or to be in a state of bliss without being on drugs 24/7, then materialism is not going to work for you. Materialism is not going to work for you. Now, what does materialism suggest in its simplest form. Essentially, you can buy your way to happiness, right? Money equals power, power equals status, status equals wealth, wealth equals status, the whole thing. All of these things that you can get tangibly, you can receive in the real world, these are the things that are going to make you happy. And that's the ideology, right? Buy your way to happiness. And this is our current system. Capitalism is based on materialism. Its entire premise is that people want to be happy, and we can sell them certain things or give them a way into this happiness. And all they have to do is buy it, right? All they have to do is make the money and buy this thing. And if they don't earn enough money, they'll have to find a way, because otherwise they're not going to be happy, are you? So, of course, this chase for money begins, this chase for wealth, this chase for bread, or cheddar, whatever you want to call it. Now, don't get me wrong, money is good, you need money, and it's the equivalent to food, basically, you need it. So I'm not saying don't earn money or down with the system or whatever, that's too simple. The philosophy needs to change. The ideology behind why you're chasing the money needs to change. If you're searching for money, or if you're searching for happiness through money, you're going to be disillusioned at the end. Now, I haven't experienced this personally. I haven't become rich or wealthy overnight or won the lottery and all of a sudden I'm content with my life and I'm happy, or I'm unhappy and I'm depressed. No. But in other smaller ways, I've wanted certain things, and when I've got them, I didn't feel any different. Maybe I was relieved of the anxiety of wanting this thing, which is a different kind of happiness or pleasure, if you get my drift. And of course, yeah, whatever you're searching for, whatever you get, it feels good in the moment. It feels good then. It definitely gives you the illusion of happiness. But that fades. It fades. It's temporary. It doesn't last long, because when you've got it, you've now got it. It's yours. You've got nothing more to want. So what happens? What do you naturally do? You find something else to want, because the wanting is still going to be there. Because that's the ideology of materialism. You buy your way to happiness. If you have, let's just say you are the richest man on earth. Richest man on earth. You've got everything. You've got wealth. You've got power. You've got status. You've got women. You've got money. You've got planes. You've got everything. Everything anyone wants. Food, drink, any kind of drug, any kind of blissful state you want to enter today, you go and do it. And you can do whatever you want, basically. You're basically the king, right? You can do whatever you want. Chances are you're going to get bored. You're going to get disillusioned, at least, because you're going to be like, I've got everything I want. I don't feel too content with everything I have. I still want something. And there's a reason why most of the richest people on earth become philanthropists or even philosophers. Right? They find a human need for connection or compassion based or connection based, to throw themselves into. And when I say throw themselves, I mean give themselves to it. Who was it? It was Dale Carnegie, who said when he died, what they did is they opened up his cabinets and they found a note in a journal or something. And the note literally said, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be the richest man on earth so I can give all of it away. Yeah, give it all away to charity, give it away for free. Like, what is that? He wanted to make money so that he could give it away. He wanted to make all of that richness, all of that wealth, just to then give it back to humanity in an act of kindness or compassion. It's funny how that happens. It's funny how we will look for things to make us happy, and when they don't satisfy us, we need something to connect to. You either become religious, you become one with the divine, you become a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a Buddhist or whatever. And all of these spiritual practices are basically the same thing, or on the surface they're the same thing anyway, which is you're searching for meaning. You're searching for meaning for your life, to your actions, to why you've done certain things, where you've gone wrong, why are you doing things the wrong way, and what's the right way. Yeah, these things are real. This is what you go through. And even me, as a 22-year-old meager human being, I can tell you that there's been times where I've wanted something and I've eventually got it, and I just felt disillusioned. I felt disillusioned, and I wanted something more. And I was like, wow, I've got it. I've got what I want. I'm thinking back to Naples. I bigged up Naples so much in my life, in my mind. And when I got to Naples, I was just there. That's it. I was just present. And even then, my thoughts actually got worse when I was in Naples, because it was like I was expecting something good. I was expecting something brilliant and fantastic. And don't get me wrong, Naples was a fantastic and brilliant experience, but it wasn't mind-blowingly blissful, which is what my mind was telling me it would be. And I think that most things in life is just like that. You feel good, you like what's going on. Don't get me wrong, I like being in Naples. Like, I enjoyed eating pizzas, I enjoyed going for walks in the evening, I enjoyed traveling, I enjoyed talking to Italian people, you know. I liked my experience. But it was just that. It was a nice experience. It wasn't anything that's going to give me everlasting peace. It definitely didn't make me feel like I was content with myself any more than I already was. Right? It didn't change anything. So I think that most things in life are just like that. If you become a millionaire overnight, or even after a few years of just drudging through the trenches and earning that wealth, once you've got it, you're probably going to be like, okay, well, I can do anything I want, but I don't feel any better than I did before. And the same thing happens when you get into that dream romantic relationship. You big it up in your head, is what I'm trying to say. You big up this thing, this material object that's of your desire. You big it up in your head. You big it up in your head, man. You make it into a dream, into a fantasy, and your imagination just makes everything perfect. Everything is perfect in this dream. Kierkegaard said it again. He said that if you live your life in a recollection, so you're constantly remembering the past, you can create the sweetest story ever. And usually it is. It's the sweetest story ever. It makes sense. Every note, every touch, every memory somehow relates to the next, and it's a story, and it's beautiful, and it's sad and sorrowful, and it's sometimes terrible, but it always makes sense. There's always a sense to it. There's always like, this is my life's journey. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm here, right? This is who I am. There's some sort of identity from these memories. And yeah, that's what your mind does when it comes to wanting things. So the entire system of capitalism and materialism is essentially that. It's taking massive advantage of your lack, your sense of lack that you have, that all humans have. The feeling that I'm not enough, that I need to get this thing that's going to make me happy. Finally, I'll be happy, I'll be content, I'll like myself, all of my problems will go away, all of the things that I hate about myself will go away. Once I get this thing, once I become successful, I'll show them that I'm not a loser or this or that. Or when I get that 10 out of 10 girl, I'll show them that I'm not that. What's really funny is when you do get that thing, all of a sudden those negative thoughts no longer exist. The thoughts go because the belief is gone. But your lack, your sense of lack, that feeling, not the thought, but the feeling of lack remains. I've noticed this. The feeling of lack remains. It's always underneath the excitement and the passion that's on the surface board of these things that's going on. But the lack is always there. That trembling feeling of, is this going to work out? Is this really enough? Is this really what I want? Is this whatever question you want to think of? It's always going to be nagging at you saying, this isn't enough. I need something more. And that's the thing with material goods, is that they will give you a pleasure short term, but they won't give you everlasting fulfillment. So materialism as a philosophy is good in one respect, because it allows you to live a comfortable surface life. I mean, yes, I would love to be a fucking millionaire so that I could literally go to any party I want, travel the world whenever I want, literally get on a fucking plane and just go off to wherever I want to go in a moment's notice. Oh, wouldn't I love that? Of course I would. That would be great. So it definitely allows me to have an enjoyable surface level existence. 100%. Comfort is what it gives me, really. But that ain't going to make me happy. I know it's not going to make me happy. And don't get me wrong, riches and wealth is something that I'm working towards. But it's hard to say that it's going to make me happy. It's hard to say that it's going to provide everlasting fulfillment. And same goes for your marriage or relationship status or whatever you want to call it. These things will also not give you that permanent sense of happiness that you're looking for. Now what will, right? What will? That's the question, right? I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that in this video. This video is just a response to materialism. And my personal response to materialism. Why materialism? I'm not going to say it's shit. It's the worst thing ever. It's soulless and crap. No, it's not. It's got its fucking benefits. Alright, let's be realistic here. It's got its benefits, but it's not going to give you the sense of permanent pleasure that you're thinking that it's going to give you. When I say materialism, I mean anything that you've attached yourself to that's tangibly achievable. Wealth, status, power, money, yeah, commanding a legion, being a general, being a legend in the history books or whatever. These things, they're tangible. You can get them. You can become that thing that you want. You can get that thing that you want. It is possible. In fact, most of the time you will eventually get what you want. You will. Life has a way of working around these things. You will get what you want. Maybe not now, maybe not on your schedule, but you will get it probably. But it's not going to give you that sense of permanent happiness that you're looking for, because it's temporary. It fills in that void only superficially and only for a little bit, because once that initial high of pleasure, which is a sensory feeling in the body, feels good, once that goes away, and it will, because that's only an idea, yeah, this game that I've got here, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it can make me feel good when I've got it in my hand and I'm playing it. But how come after maybe a month or two of playing it, I can't even look at it anymore? How come now I'm looking at this game or I'm playing the game and it doesn't give me the same pleasure? Why? It's because I've got it. It's because I can't build a fantasy anymore in my head. I've got it. I can see what it's like. It's realistic, and anything that's realistic, anything that's in the here and the now, and anything that's been experienced to the fullest, whilst it can definitely give you pleasure still, it won't give you that initial high of excitement. Most of the time, the anticipatory feeling before you get that thing that you want is better than the thing itself. And when you get the thing, it's more like a release of that anticipation. And now you're bored. Now you're bored. There was a saying, I think, about like women, and like how you could see a woman who's a 10 out of 10, and the saying goes is, there's a guy out there who is bored with her. There's a guy out there who doesn't want to speak to her or has had enough with her, right? Because that's the nature of all things. Again, women taught me this. Women are my greatest teachers, I'd say. They've definitely taught me that beauty and superficial relationships, again, whilst enjoyable, whilst definitely something that I'm not going to, as Alan Watts says, turn my nose up against, it's not going to solve your problem. That big problem that you have, the problem that I know you have and that I've got as well, and that every single person, even Hercules has it over here. Hi, Hercules. Everyone, they've got this problem. It ain't going to go away when you get that thing. That one thing that you want so badly, the one thing that you're dreaming about every day, the one thing that you're so fucking sad about not having. When you get it, you will get it, alright? Ain't gonna make you happy. Of course, then you'll realise, okay, this didn't make me happy, what is gonna make me happy? And you're gonna go through a long list of things, a long laundry list of things that you think is gonna make you happy. And I guess you could go through all of those things and experience the lack and the feeling of disillusionment and the feeling of, oh shit, nothing's ever gonna get better in my life. Or you could kind of realise it now and say, well, nothing is going to make me happy, so what is? What is going to make me happy? And for that, I refer you to... I haven't got the book on me now. Let me see if it's in my bag. It is in my bag. Why am I saying I don't know where it is? It's literally in my bag. Let me get it out. There we go. Why does it have to reverse it like that? It just looks like fucking an alien language. Stoicism and the Art of Happiness by Donald Robertson. This guy is a genius, seriously, because he's got a way of talking about Stoicism that isn't philosophical. And don't get me wrong, philosophizing is nice and it's fun and it's enjoyable to do. I mean, I'm technically philosophizing right now. But again, if you can't practically apply it, what's the point? You can understand it intellectually, you can understand the idea, sure, but if you don't know how to apply it, you're just talking for the sake of talking, which I'm not going to judge. I do it, that's my fucking vocation. I do that for a fucking living, more or less, now. But again, practically applying these things is the goal, right? You're getting into these ideas because you want to apply them. This book does that with Stoicism. It does it very well. There is another book called The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, which I'm looking to get, but I've got enough books on Stoicism right now. I need to read these first before I buy it. But this book does it for me, man, and I think it will do it for you as well. If you want happiness, if you want to find it, then pick up this book. Give it a read. It's very easy to read, very easy to get straight into, and you know what? It's a perfect blend of modern commentary on and expanding upon the ancient core Stoic values that we know today. And of course, I've entrenched it in my head now. The Stoic four virtues are courage. They are courage. What's the other one? Courage, self-moderation, justice, and this is bad. I forgot the fourth virtue. There's courage, self-discipline, justice, and there's one more. I've forgotten it, and I'm gonna kick myself when I've seen it. But anyway, this book does a very good job with getting this out there. So if you have a chance, do get the book if you want to find that little happiness that I was talking about. And yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the video topic for today. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. If you've got another idea you want to hear me respond to or discuss, do let me know as well. And yeah, that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.